So what? What's up? It's your girl, Karen Elizabeth, your host of the Single with a Purpose podcast, coming at you to swap stories about life, love, sex, relationships, and spirituality, helping you to overcome those shameful, embarrassing, sarcastic, heartbreaking, this might sound stupid, questions that you have in your heart, and giving you advice for them, swapping beauty for ashes and pain for passion. So every episode, we're going to be answering questions from listeners and their helpful friends, seeking advice about whatever situation they may find themselves in, helping them to find peace and purpose in whatever state they may be.
Alright, so we have a great show for you today. We do have some sensitive topics, so just a warning, it could be a trigger for you. If you have been or know someone who has been a victim and are today a survivor of mental, physical, or emotional abuse, today we have a letter from a wonderful woman who is a survivor. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Dear Single with a Purpose, am I to blame? Is it my fault? From the outside looking in, we were a beautiful, thriving family with a home, children, a family vehicle, and a circle of peers and family and friends that I thought I could trust. However, after my divorce, I'm afraid my kids are suffering. And despite the struggle, the scramble to pay bills, the arguing, the drug, mental, emotional, and physical abuse, they had their mom and dad in one place, and now they're being raised in single-parent homes. Of course, anyone would say I did the right thing by walking away, but nobody ever told me how lonely the nights would become, or how my mind would be flooded with the good memories that seemed to overshadow the bad, the post-traumatic stress syndrome of the abuse, or that my boys would be manipulated to think that I'm the reason our family is broken. So now I'm stuck blaming myself for staying as long as I did and for leaving. I have made it through more than one bout with mental and physical abuse. But now that I have my boys to raise, this new beginning leaves me feeling unbalanced. And on top of that, I'm drowning in the judgment of my peers and family members. Leaving this relationship was the best thing I've ever done. But now that the sun is coming out, I'm feeling like this might be the hardest part. You see, I have found love again. A love that has helped me silence the feeling of unworthiness that I've been feeling inside. But at night, I find myself having flashbacks, dreams that take me back to sexual manipulation, abuse, and nagging headaches about how bills would be paid. And I'm scared. And I'm wondering, was I to blame for all this? Is it my fault? Do I deserve love now? Should love be something I'm even thinking about? How and what can I teach my boys to help them rebuild? And am I to blame for walking away? Sincerely, I am torn, broken, and building. First off, tired, broken, and building. I want to commend you for sharing your story. Many of us experience these abuses, whether mental or physical, and we don't express them because we're ashamed of them. And so it's a great courage for you to even write in and ask these questions and seek out this advice and this help, and to express and be vulnerable with your situation. And I want you to know that you're not alone. Like, there are so many men and women who suffer mental and physical abuse out there who don't speak on it, or we don't know because they hide behind smiles and everything on the outside seemingly looks perfect. But really on the inside and within homes, behind manicured lawns, there is a whole world deep that we don't see and that we don't understand or are able to perceive. You know, I understand that being in an abusive relationship and coming out of it is a complicated healing and recovery process, and the person can feel overwhelmed and, you know, with the thought of finding happiness after this abusive relationship.
the thought of, do they deserve to be happy? And the answer is yes. Everyone on this earth deserves to be happy. We all deserve to find the things and people in which not make us, but help us to be the best people that we could be, and to help us to live the most fulfilling and happy life that we could live. And so oftentimes we encounter people who don't have that best interest for us, and that could pervert our own ideas of ourselves and cause us to see us through someone else's eyes. And they don't really know who we are deep on the inside. They see us how they want to see us because it benefits them. It helps them to live their life and cope with whatever they are feeling and experiencing on the inside. And, finding happiness after, an abusive relationship is hard. And, we all need help to deal with that recovery process. So, I definitely think that you should speak to someone who has, counseled men and women that have been abused, and talk to them about what's going on, and seeing how they can help walk you through this process, because it's going to be difficult and it's not something that we should have to do alone. And definitely, having someone who has experience and have seen it and who has counseled people through it, I believe would be a good resource for you to help get through this. You say that you want to find happiness, and that, you found this new man, but you're like, do I deserve to be happy? Should love even be something that's on my mind? And I think we all are craving love. We're all craving that partnership that is, we're all craving that partnership that is going to push us into who we are becoming, and that's going to elevate our life by having a partner that we can trust and love and be comfortable with and share ourselves with. And so there is nothing wrong with wanting that. And yes, you absolutely do deserve that. But coming out of this relationship, I personally cannot say that I think it is a wise choice to go from this abusive relationship into a new relationship, simply because you have not done the work to heal. And, you could possibly be putting negative emotions and experiences and applying them to this new relationship when they don't fit and they don't apply, and we end up punishing the new man for what the old man did, or the new woman for what the old woman did to us. And so taking time to heal ourselves is important, and I believe a part of that healing process is asking ourselves a couple evaluative questions, like why did it happen? Why didn't he change? And why it wasn't your fault. This is not your fault. Anytime we enter into a relationship, we are entering with the hope of being happy and joyful and finding a partnership that fits us and elevates us to a higher experience in this life, to achieve our desired purpose and purposes and wants and needs. And so when someone takes that desire and they abuse it, and they, put their hands on you, or they beat you down mentally and try and make you feel worthless and devalue you, that causes a rift in who we are and who we think we are. So, we have to think about, why did this happen? How did I find myself in this situation? Why did I allow it to happen as long as I did? And no one is to fault you for that. When you left is when you left. How long you stayed is how long you stayed. And no one knows the inner workings of your relationship but you. And no one could ever, you can give someone so much advice and tell them what they should do, but until they're ready to do what is needed, then they're going to continue with the status quo. And so you are not to blame for staying or getting into this relationship or leaving. You at all points were doing what you thought was best for you and best for your family. So,
I think you need to take some time to learn what it means to be happy with yourself. And if in this new relationship, he gives you the room and the space to learn how to be happy with yourself, to heal, to take one day at a time, to go through this process of healing and recovery, then I think, yeah, go for it. Enjoy yourself. Allow this relationship to also be a safe place and comfort for you to walk through this healing process, because we all need someone to hold our hand. And so I don't think it's a bad thing that you're in a relationship. I just hope that this new relationship is with someone who is treating you the way that you want to be treated. And you say that you have boys, that you have kids. And you say that you have kids. And so, your life has to be the example of how to live life peacefully and happily, how to show your kids how awesome they are through how much attention and love you show them, and how much attention and love you show yourself, and therefore you have a reservoir of love to give and pour onto them. And so you as now a single mother, but not only are you a single mother, you are a single mother who has been in an abusive relationship, and your sons and your kids have seen that. They have seen you live a life that's unhappy, a life that is without peace, and it has probably impacted them more than you think. So I think focusing on your personal goals and happiness will help your relationship with your boys and help you to heal in the process. Because I think also part of your blame is that, you feel like you saw your boys see you endure this, and you're wondering what lessons or what things did they learn from this relationship that you didn't mean to teach them, or that you didn't want them to see. And kids are very intuitive and they're very smart. So what we think that they're too young to understand, they do know. They just don't have the words to put behind it and to explain it. They don't have that intellectual capacity to do that, but they are aware and they are knowing. And so, talking with your kids about what you experienced, seek advice about how to do that, how to talk to them about abuse, and how to help them deal with the separation between you and their father, so that they can also rebuild healthfully as well. Anytime we want to move on from a relationship that has hurt us, we have to accept that we are imperfect, and no relationship in our lives, no matter the context or type of relationship, none of us are perfect, and we all need help, and we all fall short of the glory of God. And so, blaming yourself is not going to help you to find that peace. But you have to be vulnerable with yourself enough to analyze and try to understand and seek out, who am I now? Who do I want to be? And how can this experience help push me into who I'm becoming and who I desire to be? You say that you feel that you have been drowned in judgment by other people, by your peers and people who you loved and you found worthy to be in your life and that you looked up to. But none of those people have room to judge you. Everybody is living in their own struggle and conflicts and things that they're doing wrong, or things that they are experiencing. And so no one has the right to judge you about how you live your life. And that is just the cold fact of the matter. And it's easier said than done. But coming from an abusive relationship, some people could know what that's like and others could not know what that's like, and they don't know what it's like to have children and to be in this type of relationship. And so, the only thing I could say is that is to be around people that that have your best interests at heart, who speak life into you, and who continue to stand by your side even in the midst of this difficult time that you're going through. You don't have to justify to anyone the reasons why you got into this relationship, the reason why you didn't leave right away, or the reason why you stayed as long as you did, because no one understands that there is a certain amount of fear and isolation and manipulation that the abuser puts on to us and makes us feel like their thoughts and their opinions that produce that fear, isolation, and manipulation are truth, and that we should trust them. But if people don't know what that feels like,